Watch out! Some rotten bandits from a hideout nearby broke in recently, and they stole my favorite great sword and bow. Would you be a dear and go fetch them for me? All right. What's up? Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Say, you seem to handle yourself quite well out there. Now that I have my weapons back, perhaps you'd let me tag along a while? Oh yes, I've been sitting here too long. I want to see Skyrim again. And since you're here, I can guess you have the urge for adventure and exploration too. Oh, don't worry about that, dear. I have more experience than any 5 mercenaries you could find put together. I've forgotten more about fighting than they've ever even learned. Wonderful. Let's get going. How about you just call me Grandma? Yeah, that feels right. All right. Oh, of course. I love to tell stories. All righty, let me tell you about Dragsy's tale, the unlucky thief. Dragsy's tale was an Argonian who just wanted to make his fortune without having to work for it, like any respectable thief. He tried and tried, picking pockets, picking locks, picking fights if he had to, but he never could seem to get ahead. Over and over again, he tried to make a career of thieving, but he was just terrible at it. Every time, he ended up in jail, losing anything he had gained. He was probably the worst thief ever in the history of Skyrim. Finally, one day, he'd had enough. He walked around the city and just waited for the first person to make him mad. And sure enough, it was the most powerful person in the town. So, Dragsy's tale ended up in jail for the last time, waiting until his execution. You could say that he lost his head because he lost his head. All right. Okay. It's where the adventure is. Nope, that's it. And don't call me Shirley. Call me Grandma. Do you like it? And I doubt you will again. That's not far from the truth. Well, I was never much of an archer. I don't like to shoot at an enemy from a distance. I like to get up close and personal, you know? Right. Well, some time ago, I was contacted by a priestess. She and some other people who worshipped Kine at Eldergleam's sanctuary had been driven out by hag ravens. Who knows what hag ravens ever want? Probably to use the tree for its power, or corrupt it or something. Yes, I did. I drove those beasts right out and let the people back in. Well, they said they didn't have anything to pay me, So they all prayed to the Elder Gleam, and the Elder Gleam decided to give me this. Yes, I think it's still alive, too. It blossoms sometimes and always smells green and fresh. And the best part is that it kind of knows what to do. Like I said, I was never a good archer, but this bow is easy to draw and the arrows seem to know where to go. And now with all these dragons about, I'm really glad I have it. It's hard to charge something that's flying.
Back off. Close enough.
Oh.
It's nothing.
Oh. I'm gonna get you. All right, now apples. Are you ready to meet the sign?
Please don't give up.
It is amazing, isn't it? And you might never again. Well, I'm not much of a blacksmith. I learned enough to keep up my weapons and my armor, but I've always been interested in unique forges and weapons. The Sky Forge, for example. So when I found Silent Moon's camp and the Lunar Forge, I kinda got obsessed. Well, because no one knew anything about it. People knew the name of the place, but not why it was called that. Yes, I expect that's why it was stolen. Those bandits were hoping to use my weapon to figure out how to use the forge. Patience, trial and error. It took years. I made weapons during the day, but they were all normal. Even at night, they were all normal. Well, that ended up being the key. In order to activate the Lunar Forge, I had to be using it at night, when both moons were out and visible right over the forge. Kind of makes sense when you think about it. One night I happened to arrive just as both moons were leaving the opening over the forge. I could feel that it was, I don't know, awake. But I didn't have enough time to do anything that night. I paid a mage to make a moon chart for me so I'd know when I had another opportunity, and I was ready. I had all my materials, and as soon as the moons were in view and I felt the forge wake up, I made my weapon. Just an iron dagger. Oh yes, I'll save you all the details of testing it, but I made a lot of weapons and tried them out. I found that I needed to use a metal with the iron. The more iron, the better. The weapon might be less quality, but it was more powerful. But only at night. Only at night when the moons were out. I didn't need soul gems or magic or anything, but I did need the moons. Oh no, they were pretty standard looking. I could probably make you one right now, or show you how at least. But I began to wonder if I could make it more powerful. Have you heard of meteoric iron and glass? I read about it in a book called Magic from the Sky. It's basically pieces of Aetherius that have fallen to Mundus. In my travels, I'd come across many of the Ayleid wells, which are made from the iron, and found Welkin and Varla stones. But I'm not a mage, so they didn't really interest me. But I began to wonder what would happen if I made a weapon from meteoric iron and used a varla or a Welkin stone as well. It took me a while, but I gathered all the materials, and this is what I made. Oh yes, it was a process of years to discover all this, to test everything, to find the materials, and to make this sword. I don't have it in me to do it again, but I could help you make a weapon for you.
You picked a bad time to get this.
That's not nice.
You open! Die already! I can take your stuff! Time to finish this! Mercy!
Everything all right? No heavy armor, please. I always get a nasty backache when I wear them. Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, and...